You know, every single golfer dreams of it. That feeling, right?
Oh, yeah.
That one pure strike where the ball just takes off, goes further than you thought possible.
Absolutely.
And for, gosh, decades, the advice was always the same. Weight transfer. You got to shift your weight.
Get your weight through the ball. Yeah, we've all heard that a million times.
Exactly. But what if? What if that advice, maybe well-meaning, is actually kind of missing the point, like the real source of power?
Well, that's where things get really interesting, isn't it? What if the secret sauce, the real engine for that explosive speed, isn't just about moving weight around, but something, I guess, more fundamental, something happening right under your feet?
Yes, literally under your feet. So today, that's what we're diving into. Ground reaction forces. We're digging into where that true power comes from in the golf swing. And spoiler alert, it starts with the ground. And our guide for this is fantastic. We're drawing insights straight from Henrik Jensch, who's the director of Golf Academy 360 Degrees. He's been doing some really groundbreaking work, challenging some, let's say, very long-held ideas in golf teaching.
Yeah, he really has. So our mission today for this deep dive is basically to unpack the science, behind these ground reaction forces. Why are they so important for power?
Right.
And crucially, how does understanding them kind of shake up the traditional way of thinking? We want to give you, the listener, a sort of shortcut, really, to getting properly informed on something that's genuinely changing the game for players and coaches.
Okay, so if we're moving past just weight transfer,
Mm-hmm.
talking about power from the ground, what are we actually talking about? Henrik's really clear on this, isn't he?
He is. It's not just shifting weight, like a sack of potatoes side to side. It's about the transfer of pressure and force. That distinction is subtle, but absolutely fundamental. That's where the power generation actually happens.
Pressure and force. Okay.
And look, to really get a grip on these ground reaction forces, which are, simply put, the forces you push into the ground, and the equal and opposite forces the ground pushes back on you. You need the right tools.
Mm-hmm.
Henrik puts it bluntly. If you don't have force plates, how do you know about ground reaction forces? You're guessing.
Wow, okay. So force plates? They're like what, super sensitive bathroom scales?
Kind of, yeah, but way more advanced. They don't just measure how much you weigh, but how you're applying pressure forwards, backwards, sideways, rotationally, vertically, all through the swing. They basically make the invisible visible. They show you those forces.
That's a powerful point itself. You're not measuring, you're just guessing.
Yeah.
So, all right, you start measuring with these plates. What do they actually show? How do these forces, play out during a swing?
They reveal a really specific sequence and order to things. Henrik calls it the kinetic sequence. And that word kinetic is important.
Why kinetic?
Because kinetic refers to the forces that cause motion. Kinematic is just describing the motion itself, like how your arms look. Kinetic is about the engine, the why behind the movement.
Gotcha. Engine versus just seeing the car move.
Precisely. And this kinetic sequence, the order of forces, is
Alright.
crucial. First, you get horizontal force, then rotational force or torque, and finally vertical force.
Okay, horizontal, rotation, vertical. But here's the bit that I think blows most golfers' minds, right? You'd assume the peak power happens at impact.
Everyone assumes that. Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
You want maximum force hitting the ball.
Yeah, but that's wrong.
According to the data, yes. If you think those peak forces are happening right at impact, you're way too late.
So when do they happen, if not at the moment of truth?
Much earlier. Henrik's measurements show these peaks, the peak side-to-side push, the peak twisting force, the peak jump force, they all happen before impact. Usually somewhere between the top of the backswing and, say, when the shaft is parallel to the ground on the way down, well before you hit the ball. Yeah. So if you're consciously trying to, explode at the ball, you've already missed the power building phase. The energy's already been loaded into the system by then.
That timing thing is huge. Okay, so to understand how that power gets built up so early, we need to break down those forces, right? The horizontal, the rotational, the vertical.
Yeah.
What are they exactly?
Let's do it. First up, horizontal force.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people call it lateral movement, side-to-side shift. And Henrik is really strong on this. Lateral's not a bad word. It's what needs to happen.
Okay, so shifting side to side isn't bad. I feel like some coaches frown on that.
Well, uncontrolled swing is bad, sure. But you have to push laterally to create force. You can't generate power just standing stock still. He actually talks about 3 main ways players use this lateral force, 3 posts, he calls them. A rear post, a center post, and a front post player.
3 posts, like
Yeah.
3 different styles of shifting.
Exactly. They all achieve that necessary push, just slightly differently. For example, a rear post player might shift noticeably right in the backswing. then push hard left in the downswing. The key is getting onto the inside edge of that trail foot, the right foot for a righty,
Why the inside edge?
because you can't push powerfully off a flat foot. Being on the inside allows you to drive off the ground, generating force towards the target, towards the left side. Then the left side can push back and up.
Okay, so rear post is a bigger shift, push off the inside right. What about the others, briefly?
Center post is more, well, centered. Less dramatic shift, more rotation around a stable center. Front post players tend to load and push off their lead leg much earlier and more aggressively. But the common thread is that dynamic push into the ground to get the ground pushing back.
So right side pushes one way, left side pushes back and up. And it's not just forwards, he said, loading the inside of the right foot and the ball of the left foot.
Yes, this is super important. As you make that move left, the pressure goes into the inside edge of the trail foot, right foot, and the ball of the lead foot, left foot.
Not the heel of the left foot. I always thought you spin on the heel.
That's a common idea. But Henrik argues against it. If you spin out onto your left heel too early, your hands tend to get thrown outwards, away from your body, and you lose leverage, you lose power.
Ah, okay, so stay on the ball of the left foot.
Exactly. You need to shift closed, meaning your body feels like it rotates towards the target while staying sort of stacked over that lead foot. This keeps the pressure on the ball of the left foot and the inside of the right. When you're there,
Yeah.
when you're on the ball of the left foot, you're in the perfect spot to push up, and when you're loaded on the inside of the right foot, you're ready to push forward and rotate. The cool thing is, this helps the arms just drop down naturally into the slot, into a powerful delivery position.
That makes a lot of sense when you put it like that. Henrik even uses a simple analogy, doesn't he? Like jumping.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Think about it. How do you jump?
Off the balls of your feet, obviously.
Right, not your heels. You push down into the ground through the balls of your feet to spring up. It's the same basic biomechanics. You need that extension to create force.
So pushing off the inside right, the right leg should straighten.
Yes, as you push forward and rotate, and the left leg also straightens as you push vertically upwards. And here's another key bit. The right arm should straighten too,
The right arm straightens with the legs.
in perfect coordination, ideally. Think about it. Right arm extending, right leg extending, left leg extending upwards. They work together like pistons to maximize that force delivery into the club. The better you push with the legs, the more force you create. The right foot's push drives the belt buckle towards the ball of the left foot, and then the left foot pushes up. It's this dynamic chain reaction, this extension, that creates serious speed.
And this ties into club face control too, which is, let's be honest, a nightmare for many golfers.
Oh, absolutely. Henrik points out something crucial. When your right arm stays bent through impact, the club face tends to be open. Straightening it, extending it, helps square that face up naturally.
Okay, that's interesting. And the grip. He mentions the grip playing a big role.
Huge role. We all know the left hand primarily controls the face angle, but the right hand has a significant influence too, especially with how it works with the right arm extension.
So how does this connect to maybe coaching mistakes?
Well, this leads to a really, really important point that kind of flips conventional wisdom on its head. Imagine a player who has a super dynamic lower body. They generate a ton of rotational speed, a lot of vertical force.
Right, lots of power from the ground.
Exactly. But all that speed and rotation naturally wants to open the club face.
Right.
So what happens? The ball goes right, maybe way right.
The classic slice or push.
Yep. So a coach sees ball going right, and what's the typical fix?
Slow down the swing, especially at the hips.
Bingo. They try to slow the player down, reduce that rotation, kill that vertical jump. But in doing that, they're actually killing the player's engine, the very source of their power.
Ah. So the problem might not be the speed.
Often it's not. Henrik's insight is that sometimes the real fix is simply adjusting the grip. Maybe making that left-hand grip stronger to help the player square the face despite all that incredible speed they're generating. You match the grip to the engine, you don't detune the engine.
That's a massive paradigm shift for a lot of instructors, I bet. And don't kill the power, just learn how to control it, maybe starting with the grip.
Precisely. And this ties directly to another core idea. Powerful swings don't all look the same. They really don't. Henrik hammers this point home. Don't fix what isn't broken, meaning some players are incredibly effective. They hit it great using mechanics that might look, unorthodox. Maybe they're way inside coming down, but find a way to square it. Maybe their posture looks unusual, but it works for them. And when a coach tries to force that player into some textbook perfect position, what often happens.
They get worse, lose their feel, start hitting it everywhere, the dreaded two-way miss.
Exactly. They lose performance because you've taken away their natural, effective way of generating and controlling force. This is where measurement, those force plates again, becomes just indispensable.
Because your eyes can deceive you.
Totally.
Hmm.
Even the best coach's eyes don't see the underlying forces, the pressures, the timing of those kinetic peaks. Without measuring, you are, as Henrik says, guessing. The real goal shouldn't be to make everyone swing like Adam Scott or Rory McIlroy.
Right.
It should be to understand the unique individual standing in front of you, their natural way of moving, their force signature, and then help them optimize that pattern to hit the ball better and more consistently. It's about optimization, not forcing everyone into the same mold.
So whether you're naturally that rear post player with the big shift, or a center post rotator, or a front post driver, the idea is to identify that pattern first.
Yes, figure out who the player is biomechanically. How do they naturally create force? And then you build on that. You refine it, you make it more efficient. Maybe you adjust the grip or set up to complement it, but you don't try to fundamentally change their engine.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up then, if we bring it all together. The big picture here is that real, usable power in golf comes from the ground up. It's about this sophisticated dance of pressure and force with the ground.
Definitely. Not just simple weight sloshing back and forth. And that kinetic sequence, the horizontal push, then the rotation, then the vertical jump, crucially, it all peaks before you actually strike the ball. It sets the stage.
And the absolute game changer here seems to be measurement. Using tools like force plates isn't just for elite tour pros anymore. It's becoming essential to truly see what a golfer is doing.
Couldn't agree more. It allows you to build on their strengths, their natural tendencies, instead of just guessing or trying to fix things that might not actually be broken for that player. What works for one person could absolutely ruin another's game.
And thinking about this, these ideas, understanding your unique mechanics, leveraging your foundational strengths, that applies way beyond just golf, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's really about understanding how you operate most effectively in any field and then optimizing that rather than just trying to copy someone else's blueprint.
So here's something to chew on them. If the real goal of any instruction, like a golf lesson, is ultimately just to put a smile on your face, help you perform better, how might embracing your unique way of doing things, your own way of generating power or solving problems instead of always trying to fit some rigid standard, how might that unlock your next big breakthrough, whether that's on the golf course or maybe in any challenge you're facing?